All right, let's start in our comfortable seat. I had this cold, and so I haven't done as much yoga as I normally do. So I'm excited to be feeling better. So go ahead and find your seat, sit up nice and tall, and then do the side to side waddle to try and find your sit bones. There we go. And maybe add a little bit of a shoulder roll so that we get a little loose. And then right when we are done getting nice and loose, start to think about lining it all up. So you've got your sit bones on the ground, which are those pointy things in your butt. And then you have your hips. And then you want to try to get your shoulders over your hips and your head centered between your shoulders without being rigid. So think about lengthening your spine, lining everything up, but staying relaxed. Hey, Anna. And then if it's comfortable, close your eyes or gaze softly on the floor in front of you. And what we're doing is we're trying to relax the face muscles. We're trying to relax the jaw so that this relaxation trickles down into your neck and your shoulders. Take a few deep breaths here. Notice how your belly might move in and out as you breathe. Notice that your shoulders might lift and fall. And all of that is okay. You just want to keep these movements to a minimum and you want to be aware of them. You don't want to be yoga robots. There's still some fluidity in what we're doing, but what we're trying to do is let go of the tension and also to synchronize our breath and our movements so that we are flowing more in unison. So go ahead and drop your chin to your chest so you can start to feel a stretch through the back of your neck and through the tops of your shoulders. Now we spend a lot of our day looking down, but when we look down, we tend to round through our upper back. So here you want to keep your shoulders over your hips. So it might even feel like you still have an opening across your collarbone and as you drop your chin down. And then roll your right ear over to your right shoulder, getting a big stretch through the side of the neck. And it's up to you if you want to keep your eyes closed or open here. And then roll forward. Bringing your left ear over to your left shoulder. Bring your chin back to center and then lift your chin up, flutter your eyes open. Reach your arms out into a T, stretch and spread your fingers, turn your palms up to the ceiling, and then turn them back down. Turn them up to the ceiling again, and turn them back down. Let both hands come down to the mat, and then we're going to lift our right arm up. Lift it up high, 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 and then exhale over to the left. So I'm going to mirror you guys so that it's less confusing, I think. And let your left arm get soft. So you want the elbow to get heavy. And as the elbow gets heavier, you might feel a deeper stretch through your waist. And then notice if your right hip is popping up and give it a little press down towards the floor, towards the mat. And then slowly come back up through center, letting your right hand come down. Lift your left arm up. Reach it up and then exhale over to the right, letting the right arm get soft, letting the elbow come down towards the mat. Pressing the left hip down so that you get a deeper stretch through the waist. Breathe here. And then come all the way back. We're gonna take our left hand, our right hand, sorry, we're gonna place it on our left knee. We're gonna take our left arm and swim it behind us to come into a little bit of a twist. So make sure this is gentle. I don't want you like forcing this. It might not be that far yet. It's early in class. Breathe here. And now keeping your hand on your knee, you're gonna lift your left arm up and you're gonna bend again towards the right, but this time you've got that hold on your left knee. Maybe you can feel a little bit more of a stretch, a little bit different of a stretch. And then come back to center, release. Gently roll your shoulders out, bring your left hand to your right knee, bring your right arm behind you, look over your shoulder, coming into a gentle twist. And then reach the right arm up and over to the left. Deepening your stretch. Nice. And then come back to center, let your arms float down, roll your shoulders. Walk your fingertips out in front of you. And pay attention to how far you can go, how it feels. If you can, let your elbows come down to the floor. If that's not available, that's fine. And let your head get heavy. Reach your sit bones down and back. And then walk your hands back, come back up to your seated position. We're going to switch the cross of our legs. And then walk back forward again. So this might feel a little awkward, a little bit different in your hips, a little bit different in your shins and your feet. Let your head get heavy, feel a stretch through your lower back, through your hips. And now walk over to your left, and maybe even take your right hand and place it on top of your left hand if you can. Notice where your sit bones are. You don't want your right hip popping up off the mat. You actually want to try and keep some connection there. So maybe you have to bring your hands in closer. Maybe you don't bend over quite as far. And now walk back through center. Walk over to the right. Place your left hand on top of the right one. And find that big deep side stretch. And then walk back to center. And slowly walk back up to your seated position. Roll your shoulders. And we're going to make our way into our tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, as you get here, think about lining your knees up under your hips and your hands up under your shoulders. Now, lift your belly button up to your spine. So it's yoga, but it's still a little bit of a workout. You want to find this spot where you feel like your torso is hovering. So even though you're connected to the floor, can you make yourself feel like you're floating? That's very esoteric of me, but work with me on this one. Now reach your right foot back and then rock back and forth over your right toes. Big stretch through your calf. Keep lifting your navel up to your spine. Keep your glutes active. And then come back to this center neutral. Reach your left fingertips forward. And now lift your leg and your arm at the same time. And then lower them back down. Lift them both up. And then lower them back down. Lift. Now this time hold here. And we're going to move out to the side. So we're going to bend our right knee, bend our left elbow, come into this like weird cactus jog thing, and then stretch back out. So it's a cactus arm and a fire hydrant leg, and then stretch back out. One more. And then stretch back out. Lower down the fingertips and the toes. Return to your tabletop and give yourself a side to side shake. Come back to center, reach your left toes back and rock back and forth over your left toes. Keeping that core engaged, so you're lifting up. Don't let your belly sag. Don't let your back arch. Try and keep a straight spine. Come back to center, reach your right arm forward, and now float both up together and float them down together. Lift them up together and float them down together. One more time. Hold them up here, and now pull your arm out to the side, leg out to the other side, and then straighten back. So this makes you very unstable, which forces you to work your stability muscles, which are what help you stand up every day. Last one. Reach back, lower down, return to your tabletop. Turn your fingertips so that they point to the sides of your mat. And go ahead and rock left to right, stretching out your wrist. And then turn your fingertips, if it's available, towards your knees. And maybe you can rock back and forth a little bit, stretching out your forearms. If it doesn't work, yeah, there you go, Annalise. If it doesn't work for you, do one at a time or just go as far as you can. This is really good for all of us for multiple reasons. I'm not even going to go into it. All right. Return your fingertips back to the front. We're going to do a couple thread the needles. We're going to move them, and then we'll, on the final third one, we will stay in the pose. So reach your right arm up, open up and twist, and then exhale, thread your right arm under your left. Quick touch down. And then open back up. Exhale, touch down. Lift back up, and this time as we exhale, we're going to touch down. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. So think about rolling onto the back edge of your shoulder, the right ear, and your left hand, you can walk it out in front of you if that's available. So your torso is twisting, but you still want to reach your hips back. And maybe you can take that left hand up to the ceiling. And maybe you have the mobility to bring it behind your back, deepening the twist. And then slowly unwind that left arm if you bound it. Press the left arm down, open all the way back up to the right before you come back down to neutral. If you need to shake or shimmy and realign, absolutely go and do that. Now we're going to reach up to the left, exhale, down, thread your arm under to the right. Breathe on up to the left, exhale, thread your arm under to the right. Last one, open up to the left. And this time when you thread your arm under, we're going to stay down there. Bringing your left ear to the mat if that's available. Rolling just a tiny bit onto the outer edge of the left shoulder. Reach your right arm out over your head, and then maybe up to the ceiling. And then maybe you can turn your palm and bring it all the way back over your hip. All of those are options. Just see what feels good in your torso, what you can feel, what you can twist. And then slowly start to unwind, bringing the right hand back down. Press yourself up and open to the left. And then bring your left hand down, back into your tabletop position, where again, you can shake it out just a little bit. Walk your hands one handprint forward, curl your toes under, make sure you have as many of them, preferably all 10, but maybe it's only 8, pressing into the mat, Cover your knees and then slowly start to peel your hips up, coming into your downward facing dog. So think about your arms being shoulder distance apart. Your pointer fingers are pointing forward. Your feet are hip distance apart. You're letting your heels get heavy. As you lift your hips up to the ceiling or to where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you, you want to try and guide your head in between your biceps. Breathe here. Now we're going to pull forward into a high plank pose. When your shoulders are over your wrists, I would like for you to stop and notice where you are. My butt is a little too high, so I'm going to walk my feet back 1 footprint so that I can make a straight line. And then I'm going to lift back up into down dog without moving my feet. So this is quote unquote measuring your dog. You want to come into a plank pose and then lift your hips back up. And you'll notice that your V shape might feel a little bit different. So pull back forward into that plank, check and make sure that you didn't actually move your hands or your feet. And then lift back up into that down dog. And in this down dog, you can bend your knees. You can find stillness. But think about reaching your hips up to that spot where the wall and the ceiling meet. Everybody looks really good. Now gaze forward at your hands and take like 100 tiny little steps to get your feet all the way up towards your hands, keeping your knees nice and soft. Let your head get heavy. Bend your knees enough that you can lay your belly, your torso, on your thighs. And then if it's available, reach for your elbows. Let your head get so heavy that your ears come back in between your biceps. Find the weight in each foot. Make sure that you have weight in your big toes, your pinky toes, and your heels. And then gently rock side to side. Or stay still. Release your hands and slowly roll all the way up to stand, 1 vertebra at a time. Nice and slow. And then once you're standing, notice if you still got your hips, knees, ankles in line, and your shoulders, hips in line. All right, inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, slide your right leg back. Come up onto your fingertips and gaze forward. Lower your knee down. Bring your arms up. Breathe here. Bring your hands back down. Step back to plank. Lower your knees, bend your elbows, lower your chest and chin, untuck your toes, baby cobra. Press up into tabletop, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And now slide your right foot up between your hands or drag it up with your arm, whatever you need to do. Come up onto your fingertips, open your heart forward, and then lower your left knee down, bring your arms all the way up. Breathe here. Exhale your fingertips back down, curl your left toes under, and bring your left foot to meet your right foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, right back down again. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, slide your left foot back. Open your heart forward. Lower your left knee. Plant your left hand down. Open up to the right. Bring your right hand down. Lift your left knee, slide your right foot back to plank. Lower your knees, lower your chest and chin, untuck your toes, baby cobra. And then exhale back into tabletop, flowing into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Slide your left foot up between your hands. Lower your right knee down and tuck your right toes. Plant your right hand down. Open up to the left. And then let the left fingertips come down. Lift the right knee. Walk the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, right back down again. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, slide the right leg back. This time I invite you to keep your right knee lifted, but we're going to do that same thing where we plant our right hand, open up to the left. So same twist, but now we're adding a little more balance into it. Let your left hand come down, slide your right leg back to plank. Maybe you want to lower all the way down. Untuck your toes, coming into a cobra or an upward facing dog, and then meeting in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Slide your right foot up between your hands. Keep your left knee lifted. Plant your left hand, twist up to the right. Breathe here, reach that left heel back. Maybe gaze up at your right thumb. And then bring your right hand down. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, palms touch. And then we're going to go right back down again. Inhale, lengthen our spine. Exhale, plant our hands, slide our left leg back. All right. From here, this is where we're going to get a little juicy. If you want, keep your back knee lifted, lift on up. You're in a high lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. And then twist and bring your left elbow to the outside of your right front knee. If it's available. You have some other options that we've already done. Might be hard to breathe here. And then slowly unwind, place your hands down on the ground, slide your right leg back. Maybe you're ready for a chaturanga, lowering halfway down. Untuck your toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let those heels get nice and heavy. Breathe here. And now slide the left foot up between your hands, keeping that right knee lifted. You can always lower down the right knee if that's better for you. Reach your arms up, high lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Find your balance. And then twist to the left. Bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Looking up over your left shoulder. Twisting here. And then unwind, place both hands on the ground, slide your left leg back to plank. Oh, no, sorry. Step your right foot forward. That was mean of me. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale our hands down by our side. Take a moment, take a breath. Realign. I am just going to make a little adjustment to the camera so you can see my arms. Breathe here. All right, let's do some balancing. So we're standing tall. Think about our alignment. And I'm going to mirror you, so I will be doing the same leg as you. So lift your left heel up, Start to float your left toes up. Let your left knee hover here in front of you. Can you rotate your ankle? You can always grab a wall or a chair, and now we'll all rotate it and like alternate it, rotate it in the other direction, and then let it come back down. Recenter, stand tall, start to lift your right heel up, float your right knee up. Your thighs should be parallel or try to get as close to parallel. And now rotate your right ankle in one direction and then rotate it in the other direction. Lower your leg down. So that's always available to you. Let's take that a little bit further. Float your left heel up and lift that left knee all the way up. Open your knee out to the side and then see if you can find a place on your right leg, below the knee or above the knee, but not on the knee, that you can come into your tree pose. Think about lengthening your tailbone, getting your shoulders over your hips. Nice. And then if you need your arms out for balance or up, see if you can find something behind me that's not moving to focus on. Spot on the wall. So now I'm going to ask you to bring your knee back towards me, but keep your foot off the floor. Extend your leg out in front. So we're balancing on one leg. It's going to come back later. Let the leg come back down, shake it out. We'll add some balancing into our flow later. All right, other leg, lift the left knee. That's a heel. Lift your left heel up and then float your left knee up off the floor. Once you find your balance, start to open your leg out to the left and then find a spot on your left leg that your right foot connects. Now, if you're like all over the place with your body, start to get it all back in alignment, whether you're using a chair or a wall or just your own strength. Bring your arms up wherever you might need to. Breathe in here. And now when you bring your knee back to the front, extend your leg out towards me and find some balance here. Where we're extending further away, we might be a little bit more wobbly. And then bring the leg down. And go ahead and shake that out a little bit. Get a little bit of movement. All right. One more side bend before we move into our flow. So reach your arms all the way up, straight up to the ceiling. Take your left hand, wrap it around your right wrist, reach up, and then exhale over to the left. Now, if you turned your belly to the ground, open it back up. Pretend you're between like two panes of glass or security doors or something. Press down into your right foot and push your right hip a little bit further away. Pull your right arm with your left arm. And then come back up to center. Let it all come down. Let your arms swing. Bring your arms all the way up overhead. Reach your right fingers around your left wrist. Reach up nice and tall. Make sure you're balanced in your feet. And then bend over to the right. Notice that you don't want to twist down. You don't want to twist up. You want to stay nice and square. Press down with your left foot. Pull with your right hand. Breathe here. And then come all the way back up. Let your arms come down. And shake them out. So let's move to the front of our mat. Let's build a nice slow flow. Take a breath here. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Choose your vinyasa. So whether that's knees, chest, chin, or it's chaturanga, maybe you throw in an extra push-up because that's how you're feeling. And then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Let your heels get heavy. Press the mat away from you. Feel the traction in your spine. Put your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee all the way into your chest so that you can find space to float your left knee, your left foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Now your weight is probably in your left toes. I want you to think about pressing down with your left heel also. Make sure the weight is even in that entire foot. Turn your right foot down, press into the outer edge of your right foot. And then with your right arm, reach towards me up to the ceiling and cartwheel yourself open into your warrior two facing the hallway. Now check down at your feet. So you want your front foot to kind of be in the middle of the back foot. Nice. Straighten your left leg. Check your foot alignment and then melt your left knee back down. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. So we've done a lot of side bending so far. This might not feel too bad, or it might be like too much. And then come all the way through to side angle. Breathe here. Drop your right hip down. Come back to warrior two. We're going to take our right hand, we're going to come down, we're going to twist our right foot and end up in high lunge, facing the front of our mat. Breathe here, and then float your hands down. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa, double push-up, upward facing dog, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. You can also skip the vinyasa. You can take a child's pose. Float your right leg up behind you. Bend your right and draw it towards your chest, finding space. Float your right foot up between your hands. Check where the weight is in your right foot. Make sure it's evenly distributed. Reach your left heel back. Turn your left foot down, pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Reach your left arm towards the front of the room. Open up to the ceiling and then use your strength to float your torso up into your warrior two. Nice. Straighten your legs. Look down at your feet. Make sure they are where you think they should be. And then melt back into your warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then come all the way through side angle, right forearm on right thigh, reaching your left arm towards me. Drop your hip down. Make sure your right thigh is as parallel as you can get it to the mat. Come back up to warrior two. Gaze over your right fingertips, and then you're going to bring your left arm down as you start to swivel your left toes, lift your left heel, come into a high lunge at the front of your mat, and then let your fingertips float down, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog is where we will all meet. Beautiful. All right, round two, let's add on to that. Put your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. This time, hold it here for one breath. Find your strength. Press down, and now float your left foot up between your hands. Check the weight is even in that left foot. Turn your right foot down. Reach your right arm forward. Cartwheel yourself up into your warrior two. Turn your left palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle. Always take a moment if you need to check your feet. Even if I don't say to, do it anyway. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, reach towards me, come into triangle. Reaching your right arm up to the ceiling. Left hand is on your shin or on a block. And then squeeze your bum to come all the way back up to stand. Bend your left knee back into warrior two. We're going to do that same right arm down and up to come back into high lunge. Now bring your hands to heart center and twist to the left. Bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Breathe here. As we untwist, we're going to bring our hands down in front of us and launch ourselves into a supported warrior three. So fingers stay on the ground. Right leg is straight back behind us. And now bend the left knee, bring the right foot down to the ground, low lunge. Slide the left foot back. You're in your plank. Go through your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Baby cobra. Child's pose. Whatever you need. And we will all meet in a downward facing dog. Breathing here. Put your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Hover and hold this time. Test your strength. And then slide your right foot up in between your hands. Breathe here. Turn your left foot down. Press into the outer edge of your left heel. Reach your left arm towards me. Cartwheel yourself open into your warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle. Drop your hip. Come back to warrior two, straighten your front leg, reach towards me. Right hand down, left arm up, triangle pose. Engage your core, squeeze your glutes, come all the way back up to stand. Bend yourself back into your warrior two. Gaze over your right fingertips and then left arm comes down to swivel into your high lunge. Draw your hands to heart center. And then exhale, twist to the right. Bringing your left elbow to the outer edge of your right knee. Breathe here. Untwist, bring your fingertips to the ground, shift your weight into your right leg, coming into a supported warrior three. So you want to think about lifting your spine, torso is parallel to the floor, leg is not above hip height. Take one more breath here. And then bend the right knee, left toes touch the ground, you're in a low lunge. Plant your hands, slide your right foot back, plank pose, your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Couple more slow breaths. All right. Let's add on one more time. Put your left leg up. Draw your left knee into your chest. Hold it here. Bring your left foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Check the weight of your left foot before you turn your right heel down. When you're ready, turn your right heel down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot. Cartwheel yourself up into your warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle, left arm on left leg, reaching your right arm up. We've been here a couple times, so maybe you're ready for a bind, or you want to explore bringing your left hand lower to a block or to the ground, seeing what kind of mobility you might have at this point in the class. Lift back up to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, reach towards me, coming into triangle. Your left hand comes down to your shin or to the floor or to a block. Now notice if you just dumped a ton of weight onto your left leg, you actually want to be able to lift that left arm up a little bit. Reach your right arm towards me so that your right bicep and your right ear are becoming friendly. Make sure you're engaging your glutes and your inner thighs, and then cartwheel yourself back up to stand. Breathe here, melt back into your warrior two. Look over your left fingertips. Bring your right hand down, coming all the way up into your high lunge. Breathe here. Now, hands to heart center. Twist to the left. We've been here a few times, so maybe you're ready to explore opening your arms. Maybe not, no worries. Just seeing what we can do, giving ourselves options. Come back to hands at heart center. Now, before we put our fingertips down to get into our warrior three, maybe you're ready to scoot your right foot in and shift into your warrior three with your hands at heart center. So we balanced earlier in class with our leg out in front of us. Now we're going to work on balancing with our leg behind us. If this doesn't work for you, always bring your fingertips down. That is what the ground is there for. Maybe you want to extend your arms back behind you, and the biggest challenge would be to bring your arms out in front of you. Wherever you are, bring your fingertips back down to the ground, exiting into a low lunge. Take a breath here, take a moment, and then slide your left leg back into your high plank. Choose your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Let your heels get heavy. Think about getting your head between your arms so that your ears and your biceps are aligning. You should feel traction in your spine. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest, hold here and hover. You are strong. By pressing the mat away from you, you find space to slide your right foot up between your hands. When you get into this low lunge and you come up onto your fingertips, make sure that you're using your whole right foot to support your weight. Then turn your left heel down. From here, reach your left arm forward, open, cartwheel yourself up into warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle, right forearm on right thigh, reach your left arm towards me. Explore here. Are you ready to bring your right hand closer to the ground? Are you interested in bringing your left arm behind you in a half bind? Play around with it, see what you are capable of. And what you did on the other side might not be available on this side, and that is okay. Start to unwind, come back up to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg, reach forward, coming into your triangle pose. Right hand on right shin or block, left arm up to the air. Make sure that you're not putting too much weight in your right hand on your right leg. Engage your inner thighs, press down into your feet, and then reach your left arm towards me. Using a lot of core strength here. And then cartwheel yourself all the way back up to stand. Bend your right knee. Left hand comes down as you rotate into your high lunge. Maybe you need to adjust your feet. It happens. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist to the right. Breathe here. So if you need to adjust your feet so that you're on railroad tracks and not a tightrope, please do that so that you don't topple over. Open your arms if that's available, if you want to explore that. And then come back to your high lunge, hands at heart center. Now shift your weight into your right leg and float your left leg up behind you to come into warrior three. If you need the support of your fingertips on the ground or on a block, definitely reach them back down. Drop your left hip so it's in line with your right hip. Maybe reach your arms behind you, or the ultimate is to reach your arms out in front of you. And what you did on the other side might not be available on this side. But give it a try and see what happens. And then bring your fingertips down to the ground, bend your right knee, come into your low lunge, slide your right leg back into your plank. Your last vinyasa needs chest chin, push up, upward facing dog, exhale into your downward facing dog. Hips are reaching up nice and high. One more little thing before we start to wind it down. So if you want to try a crow pose, we'll move into that. If not, we will work on our squats. So walk your feet to about the middle of your mat so that they are as wide as your mat. And then start to sit your hips down. So we'll start here in a squat, and this might be your agenda for tonight. If you want to practice your crow pose, we're going to think about bringing our feet maybe a little bit closer together. We're going to bend our arms so that we have our chaturanga arms, getting our knees up into our armpits. Start to let the weight of our legs come onto our arms. Lift your belly button up to your spine. Find your core strength, and then maybe lift one toe or both toes off the mat. So it's really coming from your core. You want to be out in front of you, not behind you. So you want to look like here, and you rock forward into it. So it's not, once you do it and you're like, oh, that's it, you've got it, but it takes a little bit to find that strength in your belly. Almost. Lift the belly button up. Nice. And give it a couple more seconds to play around. Gazing out in front of you. Looking towards like the edge, the front edge of your mat. Don't stick your tongue out. Love them to bite them when they fall. All right, last playing around. Come on down, sit back, and extend your legs straight out in front. Sit up nice and tall. And then exhale, fold forward. And turn so everyone can see me. Letting your arms rest wherever they are. And then roll all the way on up. We're going to open into a wider straddle. We didn't do a lot here, so we're going to open and come forward. If you have a block, you can use that to rest your head on. If you're on your arms or your hands, just try to notice what you're doing with your head and your neck and see if you can let go of some of that tension there. And then we're going to walk over to the left, whatever that looks like or means to you. And then walk back through center. And walk over to the right. And then walk back to center. Maybe you can lengthen out a little bit more now. And then come all the way on up. We're going to slide our feet onto the floor in front of us. Our knees are up to the ceiling. Reach your arms out past you. We're going to do that slow roll to a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slide your feet in so that you can tickle your heels with your index finger as you reach down. Think about lining your knees up with your hips, your heels up with your hips, your toes are pointing away from you. And then with your palms facing down or holding on to the edge of your mat, you're going to start to roll up through your vertebra, your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back coming into a bridge pose. Lifting your chest towards your chin and your chin towards the ceiling. Holding on to the edge of the mat might give you a little bit deeper of a stretch, or you can interlace your fingers and shimmy your shoulders together. We're only going to do one bridge pose tonight, just so you're aware of that. So we are going to hang out here for a couple more breaths. Think about keeping your legs parallel. Try not to let them sway out to the sides. 2 more breaths. And then release your hands if you have the bind and roll down one vertebra at a time. Walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat and let your knees rock over to the right. And then over to the left. And then to the right. And back to the left. Bring your knees back up to the ceiling. Take your right ankle, place it on top of your left knee. Gently press the right knee away from you. And then lift the left foot off the floor, reaching behind the left thigh, coming into a reclined figure 4. Maybe gently rocking side to side here feels good. Or drawing the left leg closer to the chest. Some people enjoy extending the left leg up to the ceiling. And then slowly unwind, bringing your left foot down to the ground. Place the right foot down on the ground. Take a breath here. And now place the left ankle on the right knee. Gently open the left knee. Lift the right shin, reach behind the right thigh. Draw the right leg closer to the chest. And then if you want to gently rock, extend that right leg up to the ceiling. Play around with what might feel good for you. Let the right foot come down and gently uncross. Extend the left leg out away from you. Open your arms into a T and then bring the right knee all the way across to the left, coming into a deep twist. Come back to center. Extend your right leg away from you. Draw your left knee in. Bring your left knee over to the right. Coming into a twist. And then come back onto your back. If there's anything else that your body is asking for, turn the wrong light switch again. Go ahead and do that. If you need any other poses that we didn't get to yet. Otherwise, Extend your feet away from you. Let your feet roll open to the edges of your mat. Extend your arms away from you. Check that your spine is in alignment, your head is in alignment. Take a big inhale. And then exhale everything out. Bring your attention and energy and focus to your toes. Curl your toes in, tighten your feet, squeeze it all together, tense all of those muscles, and then let them go. Shake them out. Let them relax. Bring your energy, attention, and focus to your legs, to your calves, your knees, your thighs. Squeeze and tighten every muscle in your legs, tightening them up, squeezing it all together. And then let it go. Shake it out. Let it relax. Bring your attention and focus to your hips, to your waist. Squeeze it all and tighten it up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then let it go. Shake it out. Let it relax. Bring your attention and focus to your torso, to your chest. Tighten those muscles up, squeeze them in, tighten them up, tense it up, and then let it go. Let it relax. Bring your attention and focus to your hands. Place your thumb in your palm, wrap your fingers around your thumb, squeeze and tighten those muscles, and then let them go. Shake out your fingers, let it go. Bring your attention and focus to your arms, your forearms, your elbows, your biceps, your triceps. Tighten every muscle together. Squeeze it in, tighten it up, tense it up, and then let it go. Shake it out. Bring your attention and focus to your chest and your neck and your shoulders. Tighten and tense those muscles. Squeeze them in, tighten them up, and then let it go. Shake it out, let it relax. Bring your attention and focus to your face, to your head. Purse your lips, scrunch your cheeks, close your eyes really tight. Furrow your brows, squeeze everything in, and then let it go. From the top of your head, all the way down to your big toe, engage, tighten, tense every single muscle. Squeeze it all into the center, tighten it up, and then let it go. Shake it out. Let it relax. Move into your stillness. Slow your breathing down. Start to deepen your breathing. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Let your head rock gently side to side. Bringing small movements back into your body. Maybe you're ready to reach your arms overhead and take a big stretch like you're just waking up. And then from there, make your way onto your side. So you can draw your knees in and roll onto your side, or you can go onto your side and then draw your knees in. But get onto your side so that your blood can shift. Start moving around again. We'll take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently press yourself back up into a seated position, similar to where you started class. It doesn't have to be the same, it can be a different type of seat. And then once you're there, place one hand on your heart and one hand on your stomach. So you breathe and notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath. Acknowledge the life moving around inside of your body. Thank yourself for taking time to show up and do this. And I thank you all for allowing me to lead you through your practice. Namaste. Thank you all.